What is up? It's your boy, Anecdotal, and today, a much requested video is going to come out today. The artifact guide will be coming out right now. You're watching it. Let's do this. So let's go ahead and get rid of, I guess, the basics, or at least get this out of the way. One, there are just so many types of artifacts. It ranges from 1-star artifacts all the way up here to 7-star artifacts. The vast majority of us have not seen 7-star artifacts, or it's just not efficient to use them quite yet because we cannot trans them. But already I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's go ahead, start at the beginning at 1-star artifacts. What you want to do right away once you start the game is get to using 5 and 6-star artifacts. And to do that, what you want to do is you're going to go to artifacts. My tab is going to look different than yours because I already have all the artifacts. You will have an option to buy artifacts. You usually buy them just for materials that you can go ahead and farm in the dungeon, which should be easy enough to do. Now, the materials that you do get from a dungeon will be displayed on whatever stage you're in, and as you can see, every time you go up a stage, it doubles. So here you see at stage 37 we get 343.5 C, and the next stage has twice as much, and then it goes twice as much again, which is why something like one coring can really help your team. What is one coring? One coring is putting all of your metals into one unit. That way you can go ahead and you can beat whatever stage is there. So when you go to a dungeon, you're going to go ahead and see that there is a difficulty, and the recommended amount of metals that you need here would be 5,700. So if you go ahead and you have a 2-core here and you only have 5,000 each, when you put them together, it's definitely not going to equal 10,000 because you need more metals in order to up your level, but you'll at least be able to go one extra stage, and by doing so, you're going to be able to double the amount of materials you get. So that's always a good idea, but as easy as it is to level up nowadays with the huge metal boost that you have, I say just wait for the next day. You'll keep on farming and you'll do pretty well doing it that way, and you don't need to waste 100 gems, as you can see when you're here, to go ahead and sell your unit, because you'll just end up losing all of those gems, and that kind of adds up after a while just to get some materials. Don't worry about that. Anyways, with those materials, what you want to do is you want to max out your 1-star artifact, and when you max it out, your shop will now have 2-star artifacts available. You get those 2-star artifacts. You only need one. You max that out, and once you do that, it will open up the 3-star artifacts, and then the same will happen for a 4-star, and then the same will happen once you get 5-star. Now, 6-star artifacts, and I did not know this as a new player, cannot be found in the artifact shop. So all of these really cool gold looking ones you cannot get because they are 6-star artifacts. The only place you can buy them, so the guild right here, you go to buildings, you go to guild shop, and then you go to buy artifacts. You are able to buy some artifacts here. You can go ahead and do that if you don't care about your green coins. Honestly, I would rather use them on buying the pets in the shop that are worth these green coins, especially for you guys. If you had Tinky available, I don't need Tinky because it's already at 5-star, so I don't need them anymore. But wow, 3 fragments for Tinky will help you so much, and the value of it is a lot higher. But if you do decide to go to your guild shop and buy some, it is not a horrible decision. It's just a flip of a coin. Do it if you want to do it. If you don't. I wouldn't personally do it, but I'm pretty sure I probably have. Because I care more about honor coins or honor tokens than I do about these green raid coins. There are count them, 2 5-star artifacts that you do not need to buy. See, here's where the big problem is. And I know I kind of sped through going 1 through 5, but believe me, it's really easy. All you need to do is max it out with whatever materials. With the update, every single one of them are open, so you will be 100% okay. If you can't, just get someone from a different tribe and then beat those stages. You'll be fine. Do not worry about that. As I was saying before, you're going to have an option here. You are going to be able to buy 5 to 6 star artifacts for honor coins. Should you do that? The answer is yes, but not super quickly. Now, the artifacts that you get are always at random. To try to beat that randomness, because you're giving both 5 and 6 star artifacts, before you ever do that, you want to try to use as much of these green coins to buy all of the 5 star artifacts that appear both at this shop and everything that shows up in the regular artifact shop. So once you do that, you lower the probability of you wasting honor tokens or honor coins. I forgot what they're called. You know what? Let's just figure this out. Honor coins. Oh, there you go. So you lower the chance of you spending honor coins for something that has less value, such as 5 star artifacts. Now there are two, as I said, artifacts that you do not need to purchase. The first are the assassin boots. I bought them because at the time that I was playing, the meta were humans. They were Valkyries, and Valkyries were the absolute best, and I wanted to have 5 star artifacts that would make my Valkyries even stronger, and that's why I bought it. You guys don't need to buy it at all. The next thing is the secret book 2. You don't need this. As you see, I still haven't even bought this. So this right here and this right here, you cannot get randomly. You can go ahead and have those two artifacts completely out of the equation. It's not something that you need to worry about, and it's also not something you'll ever need to get, because 5 star artifacts will never be used. Now, you should 100% put materials into them, because materials are very easily farmable and you don't need them at all. So just go ahead, waste them. I've been at 4.2 for my materials almost forever. I don't use them. I don't dungeon farm. It's just there. And then I really just never need to worry about farming. But I did go pretty hardcore on farming just to beat the stages super early on. And now I just don't need to do that anymore. So once you go ahead and do that, you will get all 5 star artifacts and then only get these 6 star artifacts. Now, what 6 star artifacts should you use? Or maybe you're even wondering what 5 star artifacts should you use. If you're doing 5 star artifacts, it's pretty simple. You want to go ahead and use any of the bigger sets, and of course you want to use whichever set you're running. So the very first set is this one, and this was be for human and elf. Definitely have this if you're running a human or elf team. If you have the hippogriff team, you want to make sure to use this set, and then use any other set that you want, like this one or this one, because they give you the most amount of medals for 5 stars. But honestly, it's not a big deal, and you're gonna get past this pretty soon, and it's not something that you should upgrade past using materials. After a while, after you max it out, you can increase it even more by using honor coins, and honor coins increases the level cap. Now what I mean by this is that right now the cap level is 20. Go ahead, use your materials, get them up to level 20, you'll be fine. But if you want to get it stronger than that, you would need to spend honor coins. It looks like a small amount, but it will increase as you get further. Let me see if I have someone that's a little bit further. Okay, nope, it's already maxed. Let's see. This guy? There you go. Look at that, 1,500. It starts adding up, and then you just kind of don't feel like doing it anymore. So what it does is it increases the max cap for the level. It does not, however, increase the actual stats. You need to then feed material into it so that you could level it up. So first you increase the cap, and then you level it up, and you see and reap the benefits of increasing the cap and leveling it up. So make sure you have the material. It's really, like I said, not hard to get the material, but you will get there. So the biggest thing and the biggest problem that people seem to have is skipping artifacts. There are a lot of ways to get stronger in this game. There's transing, there's leveling up, there's having different pets, and there's just having an X amount of all these different type of units. But the main three are, of course, having good units, having good pets, and then artifacts. And for me, I'd put artifacts way above there, because artifacts affect everyone. All right, pets affect their respective units, and units just help themselves or their tribe. Artifacts help everybody, and usually the specific units or specific tribes, I mean, but artifacts are always there. Always. So when it comes to getting stronger, it's all about artifacts. Now, what artifacts do you use? When I first started playing, my artifacts were horrible. So what a guildmate of mine did was give me a Google Docs, and it just broke down all the artifacts. I'm going to leave a link below and you can go ahead and look at it. It tells you about the best sets for metal gaining, the best sets for your economy, and just the optimal sets that you should use. For me, I skipped everything, went ahead, looked at the optimal sets, looked at the one I thought I wanted most, and just went for that one. Now, this guy's name, not the guild member that gave it to me, but the person that made this Google Docs would be someone named Magic. His name is on the Google Doc. All credit, of course, goes to him. All I did was, as a newbie, get this Google Doc from a guild member, opened it up, and read it. And that's how I know what I know, and that's why I'm using the team that I'm using. This did not come to me just second nature, like, oh man, maybe we should use this artifact. Nope. It was all in that Google Docs. So go ahead, open that up. Mr. Magic, all right? Male, female, whoever you are, you're amazing for posting this. I thank you. I have no idea who you are, but his Discord name is on there, and I hope, because I have the page open, there are about 53 or 54 people on it now, that if I look at it again in a couple of days, that way more people will be looking at it and be more informed on the artifacts that you should use. I'm just going to go ahead and go over the set that I'm using now and the kind of rookie mistakes that I did before looking at this. So the first thing is that I only had one 6 set. Now, what is a 6 set? It's, well, kind of self-explanatory. It's artifacts that have 6 pieces to create the entire set. Now, why is that? Because you get the most amount of bonus for the larger set pieces. And the big bonus that we're looking at is metals. So if you look all the way down there, it's going to say 800. You're going to see the top is blue. That's because it's a T3 artifact bonus. And the bottom ones are orange. That's because those are T2 bonuses. You're going to have a different color one that will be either for just having the bonus as 6-star artifacts or for having them at T1. The trans kind of works exactly the same way as unit transing, so I'm not going to get too into that, but basically you click artifact trans, you transcend them, you have to sacrifice some units in order to do it, and if you want a video on units that are worth transing your artifacts with, or you shouldn't, just the easy rundown of it would be not to get rid of drummers, fairies, priests, hippogriffs especially, or anything that you would need to have to run your early game meta, your mid game meta, or your end game meta. So when you see units like this, the Griffin Rider, get rid of Griffin Rider. When you see units like the Unicorn Knight that does absolutely nothing for you, get rid of that. And then here the Alchemist does give you some Spirit Awakening, but at my level, Spirit Awakening does not matter because I can't reach my gold medal cap anyways, so it's really inconsequential for me. When it comes to artifact transing, make sure not to trans something important. If you're unsure about a unit, comment it down below and I'll let you know. But pretty much you want to stay away from any unit that actually matters. If you're past the threshold for units, have 12 priests, you don't really need to worry about having an extra priest. It's there to trans. You have everything that you need to proc all of your abilities. The first thing I did was I only had one 6-star set, or one set of 6 for artifacts, which really lowered the amount of metal buff I had and lowered the amount of knightage level I was compared to other players. Even though I played a lot, because I didn't have the right artifacts and the right set of artifacts, it really messed up my gameplay. I really had a guildmate help me out, give me this link, so I already knew what to do somewhat early on in the game when artifacts started to matter. Quickly, once you get this information, you're going to be great. First thing is, I only had one of these sets. Now I know that if you run 3 of these sets, you are going to be beastly. So I recommend that you have at least 3 of the 6 sets. Make sure that one of these, so let's go ahead and look at the overall picture. Each set will be representative of a tribe. The first one is elf, the second one is human, the third one is undead, and the last one will be orc. And of course, because you should be running the elf meta if you're in the early mid game, you definitely need to get this one. And then get any other two. If I had to say and give you a recommendation, the other one should of course be the orc one, because you will transition to the orc meta in the future, so you should have that. But who knows if the meta will change? It hasn't changed in a long time, but still, who knows? Either way, you're only going to be upgrading what you're using, which will be the elf one. Next, after you have those, you want to be using 1/4 set. Like I said, that means it will be 4 set pieces will equal up that one set. Which 4 set will you use? There's 2 options. You're either going to use the King of Beasts set, which is for orc and undead, or the Abundance set, which is for human and elf. Now, if you're using the elf meta, you're going, of course, to be using the Abundance set, because it increases everything for elves. If you are already up to the orc, you want to be using the King of Beasts set. Makes a lot of sense, right? Pretty easy to understand. So first thing, use 3 out of the 4 6 sets and make sure that it's of your tribe. And of the 2 4 sets of King of Beasts and Abundance, make sure to be using Abundance if you have an elf team, or Beast if you're using an orc team. But that's of course a lot less important than the right 6 set. The last thing that you want to do is you want to have a 3 set. Now the 3 set is pretty obvious. There are 2 3 sets that you can use. The first one will be the Immortal one. So now the Immortal one doesn't really help because of its stats. You can see here that it increases the power of melee units. Melee units are on the ground. Because everything we'll be doing will be on blunts, you need to go ahead and you want to get the Darkness set. Increases everybody's attack power. Because of Outland blunts, you're going to be needing everybody to get powered up, not just people that are on the ground. And of course, this will increase the attack of your Hippogriff, and that will be supplemented with probably the greatest of all things, the Ancient Outland Beast Blunt Force artifact. This will increase the attack of air units. This is why Hippogriffs become amazing. This is why Waven Riders at endgame become amazing, because this increases the attack of everything that flies while you're doing stage running. Now here, you're only going to use 2. So here you see that you have either the boots for Ancient Outland Beasts, you have the armor, you have the helmets, and then you have the blunt. Make sure here that you have this blunt and that you're using it, because it increases your attack, both your attack and your crit damage. This is probably the greatest of all things and is what will give you all of your power. Now everything else is really all up to you. Do you care more about quest upgrade cost? Do you care more about quest open? Or do you care more about acquisition? Honestly, if I were to pick, I'd care most about quest upgrade cost or quest open, but honestly, it's not a big deal because you're not going to be upgrading them as much as you're upgrading this right here, the Ancient Outland Blunt. And that makes up the entire set. So that will make up the 27 artifacts that you will have and you'll be running. You see here that I have 28. The reason why I have 28 is because with the friendliness that I have, I went ahead and I have an extra artifact slot. And if you're wondering, you do need to pay for all of these slots. I almost forgot about that. You don't need to pay for a slot if you're not going to use it, okay? So if you have the gems, use it to trans something. Use it to evolve something. If you don't have an artifact to fill the slot, there's no reason to have that slot. The same thing could be said of the unit slots. If you don't have a good support unit, if you don't have a unit to put in there that's going to help you, then you don't need to get the slot quite yet. Yeah, it's better to save it to evolve a unit that matters, like a priest, instead of getting the extra slot. It's not going to help you. Like I said, only units that have the medals in them will help you, so there's no reason to do that. But I'm jumping around a little bit. That's what you want to have. My optimal set is, if you go ahead and you look at where it says 6-star T2 builds, under the optimal ones, it's going to be the penultimate one, or the second to last one. It is 666-432. That represents the amount of artifacts per each set. So you'll be running 3 6 sets, and then 1 4 set, 1 3 set, and then 1 2 set. And then I broke down the ones, oh, wrong thing. And then I broke out the ones that you should be using. You should be using any of these 3 right here. You're going to be using the Justice set, the Supernova set, the Undead set, which is Lord of Darkness or whatever, and then the Frost ones. So we went over the ones you'll be using. Whichever one of these 3 or 4 of the 4 sets, you're either going to be using Abundance or Beast. You should be using Abundance if you're using the Elf meta, Beast if you're using the Orc meta. Then of these 3 sets, the only logical choice is Darkness, because what are you going to do with this? And then of the 2 of 4 for Ancient Outland Beast, you want to make sure that Blunt is one of them. And then I would recommend either the boots or the armor, because more gold acquisition really isn't that helpful. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the order of importance, or which one you should upgrade and which one you should upgrade first. Now, the most benefit that you will get from playing this and by using artifacts is being able to unlock more and more gold levels, as you see I have here, until you get up to the last level. And the way that you do that is by increasing quest open gold. That means right here, the amount of gold I need to open the next quest will be lowered. So if you increase the quest open gold, it will cost a less amount of gold to open that. And the second thing will be quest upgrade cost, which means it costs less to upgrade the quest that you have. Okay? Those are the 2 things that are by far the most helpful ones that you will want and that you should upgrade. So for me, since I'm using Frost, this is the quest open, which you see that I maxed out at 124. If you're wondering why my level is like this, why it's so much further than the regular max, is because of the Swamp of Death raid, which is this right here. Swamp of Death raids, and we're at 4. And how many people are at 4? Is it like a lot? Yeah, so there's a pretty good amount of people here. I don't believe there's too many people on stage 5, just 7 in my respective server. So we're doing pretty well there. So when you go ahead and you beat these, you get certain pets, and these pets limit break or increase the cap for your artifacts. That's why you'll see that mines are like over 100 and such. I believe the cap is, well, you know what? I actually don't remember what the old cap is. So I think it might be 70, and then it'll just keep going up. For those of you that are using elves, your quest open will be the Arrow of Shrine of Justice. So this is the first artifact that you want to go ahead and max out as much as you can. You should try to go one at a time, because everything increases exponentially. So the same way that these dungeons, every time you get to the next level, it'll start doubling out. The same thing will happen with artifacts. Every one level will just increase it like tenfold. All right, obviously this is hyperbole, but make sure that you go one at a time or 2 at a time, as long as you can continue it. And the most important thing would of course be quest open gold and quest upgrade cost. So first thing for you guys using elf meta, which is the early game meta, which I'm assuming the most people here need help with, is Arrow of Shrine of Justice. And then quest upgrade cost is right here. So decrease the quest upgrade cost of Shrine of Justice. So these are the first things that you really want to get into. If you're using the Orc meta, of course you'll be using those, the ones for Orc, which should be the shield and the helmet, I believe. After that, when you're good with that, you want to go ahead and you want to upgrade some of your abundance. So here you want to maybe upgrade your Laurel Bow so that you can get some quest gold acquisition. I went ahead and upgraded my sword here instead. And then you want to go ahead and upgrade your Outland Blunt. Now your Outland Blunt is where you get all of your attack, really. It makes things almost unfair. You celebrate if you get this early. If you pulled this before you pulled anything else, it is honestly just the best thing ever. I T3'd this super early on. This might have been like my second or third trans. I almost never been lucky in this game, and I'm so glad that I got it. When you get this, immediately upgrade it. It's just so great to have that. But for economy reasons, you want to go ahead and get quest open gold first and quest upgrade cost reduction, and then you'll be all good and all set. So if you do have any questions, make sure to comment that below and I'll go ahead and try to get to you. But honestly, these are just the ones that I'm using, and there's just no going wrong there. If you want to go ahead and figure out what you want to use for 7-star artifacts, the answer is I don't have 7-star artifacts yet. I still need 2 more in order to go ahead and start doing that. If you're wondering if it was smart to start T3ing 6-star artifacts, the answer is yes. You're not going to get 7-star artifacts for a long time. You need to really be able to beat all of these raids and then get each one of the pets here to 5-star, and that you're getting like 3 a day, and it's going to take a long time. So for many of you new players out there, or even mid-game players, you're not going to see 7-star artifacts or be able to trans them anytime now. For me, I still have, let's see, I still have Niru and Gorgon, which I think I only get 2 fragments. Let me go ahead and check. 2 fragments a day? Where's Gorgon? Down here, right? Gorgon. Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, man. So I'm only going to get 2 of them a day. To get to 150, I'm about 70-something, 77 away. So whatever half of 77 is, or should I say 78 since I need the extra one, 39. So it's going to take another 39 days for me to be able to trans them. I have right now 30 extra 6-star artifacts that I can use. So, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and do them until I get whatever ones I need, and then I'll stop there. I'm already pretty good because I have this. I'm definitely not going to T3 all of my 6-star artifacts because that just wouldn't matter. But for the ones that I am using, that's how far I'll go. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to like it, share it with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and anyone that plays Endless Frontier. Huge shout out to Magic. I hope all of you use his artifact builds link and all of that and all that good stuff. A whole lot of praise to you. And if you want to see some more Endless Frontier content, make sure to subscribe. I'm your boy Anecdotal, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.